right, good morning everybody. How we doing out there? So today, doing something a little different. Actually have, as you guys can see, the Slayer Max 10 with me today. You guys probably know what that means. Fishing skinnier, smaller backwaters. Left the big Titans at home. Actually, I haven't done this in a while. I don't know, it's kind of weird. I have this weird excitement today. Like, I'm always excited to go fishing, of course, but I don't know, just something about taking out a smaller kayak, less gear, super lightweight. I mean, we've got a few rods with us, black pack, couple bags of plastics, and just getting out in some skinnier water. There's something just kind of exciting about it. Now, this area, I actually haven't been here in a while, and to be honest, this area can be hit or miss. And when I say hit or miss, I mean like legit hit or miss. It's either they're here or they're not at all, so I have no idea what to expect. Figured I'd take a shot, take a gamble. What time is it? 9 o'clock. I think it's gonna be a good day. Beautiful day, clear skies, low wind, birds are chirping, and hopefully the fish are biting. Alrighty guys, let's just get started. Man, it is gorgeous out here. Like, I don't think you could have asked for a more perfect day, conditions wise. It's like just so peaceful out here. There we go. Oh, that wasn't funny. You're faking me out, bro. Faking me out. There we go. Dude. Stay on, buddy. Got me in the wood. Alrighty, baby. First fish of the day. Little jiggle-lig. Not a big one, but that's a good sign. At least there's one here. Like I said, the spot is truly hit or miss. I've been here when it's been loaded, and other times it's like a desert. And not like a desert when just they're not biting. It's just they're not here. They're just either here or they're not. It's a very weird area. I don't know what it depends on. Time of year, certain flows, rain. I don't know, but I would say, knock on, plastic. That's a good sign. Well, like a 5-pounder just followed up. Yeah, like 2 5-pounders. Alright, they're here. That's cool. That is very cool. That was the first step. Identifying if you're around fish, if they're there. They're here. Now I just got to find out how to catch them the best way. I won't give up on that glide either. They were pretty hot on it. But the jig's just probably going to catch more numbers. Oh boy, we might be in for a fun day, guys. God, I love you guys so much. It's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's exactly the same cast where I made the cast with the glide and pulled 2 bigs out. trying to be like quiet and stealthy. I don't know. Smaller areas, skinnier water. I mean, it makes sense that these fish can probably sense you a lot easier with the slightest of sounds or vibrations or movements. That's kind of why I'm being all whispery like. Well, they want the jig for sure. Little guy. What else do you guys want? I know there's some bigs down there. Like I said, seeing them really gets that confidence up to maybe try some other baits today. But yeah, I think a jig would probably be a good bet for a big bite down there, you know? Oh, one did it. Just got me hung. There's a lot of wood down there if you couldn't tell already. It'd be a miracle if I come home with all my jigs today. They're definitely going to break off quite a bit. Oh, what the heck? Oh no! What the heck? That was odd. I don't think that's ever happened to me before. Getting snagged up and totally not realizing he came off. Not the biggest ones in the world so far, but fun fish. Man, it's only a 15-pound test. You got a P-line tactical fluorocarbon. You can always tell if your line's nicked up by just reeling through the guides. Just listening, you'll hear the nicks in the guides, or the line nicks in your guides. I don't know how I don't have a single nick on this line yet. I'm not going to complain. I probably should retie, but I'm not. After a big one, I'll retie. Maybe. Little guys. I might have to actually take out a different bait to weed out those small ones. Maybe, we'll see. It's our warm-up fish. Getting us warmed up. Getting a feel for them. Alright, let's do it. Mess around with this guy a little bit. Heck, I don't think the spinnerbait's a way to weed them out, the small ones, but spinnerbait fish, just kind of thinking, got bit on the jig, been thrown around, glide. It's kind of like an intermediate, like a bait that's kind of in between a glide and a jig as far as just like retrieve speed, something I keep in the strike zone. Not too long, but not as long as the glide. Glide kind of feels like you're fishing a jerk bait. Well, something just a little more fleeing. Spinnerbait, we'll see. Poor guy. Man, a lot of little ones back here. I hooked him weird. Didn't even get him in the mouth. A lot of little fellas, huh? Definitely some willing to chase, though. That's cool. That's 3 rods out of the 6 that I brought. Other 3 rods right now, I've got rigged up a drop shot, a crankbait, and a topwater. And we got some more options as far as presentations go, and of course we've got a couple of small boxes in the black pack with some other baits, but I figured we'd have most of our bases covered with these 6 rods that we've got rigged right now. Oh no, came off. See, I think it's small though. I think if they're good size, they're gonna get pegged. Surprised they're eating it this good though. It's a pretty sizable jig. Oh, I got another one. Watch. Well, I think. Drop shot. Ironically enough, not as small as some of the other jigfish we caught. You can never not bring a spinning rod. Give me back my jig. Oh God, how did I know that was gonna happen? You know, that's silly. I shouldn't let them swim off. If they swim off, they're probably gonna get me hung. That one got me hung. Yeah, that one ain't coming out. I guess there's a beaver over there. That one's donezo. Oh, yeah. Well, that was pretty good. Got a handful of fish off of that one little jig, so I can take that as a win. Box, lots of randomness. Literally one of those deals packing up this morning. I just, whatever looked good, I threw it in the box. And trailer of choice today so far. This guy right here, little creature hog, a rusty craw. Just keep you right there, actually. You know, I probably should bite a little bit of this off, but I don't think it matters. The little ones are eating this whole deal, so I don't think there's any reason to downsize. Alright. Guy. Ooh, again, the little one. That sucker? Jerk. The water is like, I don't know, it's weird. Some areas it's murky. Like in the shallows, it's relatively clear. Like I can see the logs kind of sitting in 2 to 4 foot of water, but then you kind of come out towards me, probably where there's more of a drop off to the channel, and it's kind of like this green murkiness. Kind of hard to say exactly how deep we're fishing certain baits in. I mean, the jig and stuff on the bottom you can guess pretty good, but stuff like a spinnerbait, you're wondering if you're rolling it over 2 to 5 foot or 8 to 10, which I would assume is not ideal. It seems like they're closer to the bottom right now. I want that spinnerbait getting closer to the bottom if possible, but we do have a way to check that. You guys know what time it is. It's deeper time. Let's check it out. Again, guys, this rig, I'm trying to think the last time I actually took this out. It must have been like the spring or the summer. I think about a year ago, I ripped off like the battery, the transducer. I had it so you could put like a tiny graph on it. Took that all out, less weight, and really, I mean, when I'm fishing out of this, I kind of know what I'm fishing. Small water, shallow for the most part. So I'm not going to be like taking this out into a deep reservoir and trying to find fish out in 40 foot. But that all said, it is kind of nice to have a reference as to where you are in the water column, where you're fishing, how deep you're fishing. So that's why we got this dude right here. We got the deeper unit. I installed the flexible arm this morning. Nice and gear track ready. Took the tether off. You guys have seen this before. Big fan of this device, especially when we're taking smaller craft out. I think I even used it when I took out the inflatable. It's your portable fish finder. I use it mainly for depth, seeing bottom composition, you know, if there's grass down there, if it's rock. And then of course water temperature, stuff like that. So right now we're sitting in about 7 foot, clean bottom. Interesting. Up on the bank there's a lot of grass. 58-degree water temp. It's chilly back here. Literally perfect for a small kayak, small craft, canoe, inflatable, stand up, whatever. You can see we're just kind of getting a little closer to the bank. You can see the tree in the water right here. Right there, that yellow. You can see this big old tree. Yeah, so it's not deep back here. Actually, didn't even notice this. Look at this right here. We're just in 8 foot. We go out in the middle of the channel. And 2, there's a big sandbar right here. But no, you guys get the idea. Deeper unit has been a staple for me for these smaller crafts, smaller kayaks. Obviously good for even like bank anglers if you're fishing the bank and you just want to see where you're casting into. And again, biggest thing when taking this out, when using this, it's portability. I add essentially no weight. This is all I'm using. The flexible arm in the unit. My phone is the graph itself and the battery. So you're adding no weight to your craft when you take this out, and you can still have the ability to check sonar, depth, temperature, whatnot. Cool little device. I will link that dude in the description below, but let's keep fishing. Question is, what do we throw? And do we keep meandering back into this backwater? It seems like the further we've gone, the slower it's got, or the smaller the fish have been too. We'll keep going with it. There we go. Oh, it's been a while since I caught one. Back to the old jig. They're choking it. I'm surprised we haven't pulled any like 3-pounders out yet. Still got time today for sure, but well, we caught like 6 or 7. They've all been pretty tiny, but the day can turn around pretty quick. You guys want a worm. You guys want a worm. Oh. How'd he come off? What the heck? That's so weird. Alright, they just being a little pickier. Out of the tree. Finally got a decent one. Not a giant, but he's better than what we have been catching. Little purple worm, huh? Come here, buddy. Okay. Okay, sir. Man, he's kind of pale. Pale fish. They're around. They're just, honestly, right now, it kind of seems like they're not really biting as good. I think maybe I should probably have gotten here earlier. Get that early morning bite. Kind of missed the dinks biting the jig. Kind of took them for granted earlier. I can't hardly get a bite on the jig. Not like they were biting the worm either. This might be the classic case where I need to cover some new water. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. When in doubt, keep covering water. Oh, there we go. Oh, acrobatic fella. See, just had to move spots. A pretty little chunk. See if that means anything. Might have to cover water today. That one. Man, I thought he was a giant. Like, I thought we finally got a big one. She almost jumped back in the boat. I'm not going to complain. Fake me out. Getting some bites now, though. That's good. Oh. I'm not even feeling the bites. That's how you know it's kind of slowed down. They're just sucking it in. There we go. Little spinnerbait fish. Man. Not any bigger, but a bite on something other than a jig. What time is it? 2 o'clock almost? It's been a weird day. Just, I mean, getting bites, of course, just haven't figured anything out for the better ones. I really did think that eventually today, obviously before now, we'd have a little stretch of goodness, talking some solid fish. Maybe the big ones just don't want to play today. The silver lining, though, is getting bit on the jig and the spinnerbait, for that matter. Definitely feels like they're bigger fish. They just hit it so hard. Look at that little belly shirt. Missed you the first time, buddy. These all are the same size. A little better. I'm actually kind of surprised. There's some, well, it's on its last leg for sure. The vegetation still alive. A lot of the grass is kind of wilting away. This area definitely has got the right ingredients for the spinnerbait. Kind of fishing these sparse little patches of grass. It's dead grass, which is interesting. You wouldn't really think dead grass would hold fish, but there's some healthy stuff around too. Fun bite. These fish are definitely shallow. That's way up there. A little better. Got him in so quick, he didn't even realize he's caught yet. Now he does. Okay, now that was way up on the bank. Oh, man, they are set up. Well, flurries, right? Again. Third time's a charm. Man, that was another shallow fish. It is stupid shallow up there. That's the beauty of fishing this area, man. Like, how cool is it that you can really fish as shallow as you want, and there's always potential. They are up there. Fun little bonus bite. I could do this all day. I'm not gonna say that this is not a whole ton of fun. Man. What's weird is I haven't seen any bait flicking around. Little bait balls or shad or whatever. You'd think the way they're eating the spinnerbait, that would be the case back here. Dude, it's like, can't imagine how many I'm not catching too. Another fish way up shallow. Can't throw it shallow enough. Oh, look at that. Saw him just kind of, he didn't even come that fast at me. Just kind of moseyed on out here. Saw Saw me right there. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for our day out on the water. Slayer Max 10 today, the smaller kayak, minimal gear. Still the essentials though, that's kind of the beauty of this kayak. It's a smaller package, but still has all those features you want in kind of a bigger kayak, so to speak. Just to quickly recap the day, we got here, set the kayak up, wheeled it down the path, we launched. I've had some history here. Usually in the past, it's like I said, hit or miss. They're either here, they're not. And typically in the cooler months, they'll bite a jig. So started off fishing a jig, didn't take too long, got a bite on the jig, small one, but to me that was probably the best sign of the day, that first jig bite, just to confirm there was fish in the area. Yeah, I mean, kept the jig in my hand for a minute. They weren't as big as I was hoping, but they were still fun bites. Throwing that up in the wood along the weed line, just letting it sit, and eventually one would come and get it. Now I did have a bunch of other baits with me, as you can see, including that dude right there, and I picked that up pretty early on and started throwing that around some submerged timber. I think on my second cast, two pretty big ones follow it. They were right behind it. They didn't look super hot, but drew some of the bigger class fish out from the woods, so gave me a good feeling, positive sign that there was some better quality in the area. I messed around with that for a little bit, and I kind of threw that on and off all day, but really nothing other than those first two big followers. So really a lot of my fishing, a lot of my bites for the first half of the day were on the jig. That just seemed to be what they wanted. I did mess around with the spinnerbait a little bit, caught a couple of dinks on the spinnerbait. I mean, but you can see here I threw pretty much everything. I caught a few on the drop shot. I did mess around with the top water for a minute. You guys do remember we did check the depth, the water temp, and key features that are always good little bits of information to know with the deeper unit right here. And it was about like, what, 58 degrees, so kind of cooler temps. So not really a surprise they weren't busting a top water. But yeah, I mean, spinnerbait got bit. Then we had kind of a lull, that midday lull. It always seems like it's the middle of your trip, you don't get bit as much. Well, today was no exception. Had that midday period where just bites seemed to be tough. Even though I was downsizing, throwing the worms, didn't seem like they wanted to eat much other than the jig. Again, no big ones today, which was surprising, but still a lot of fun to catch them in the ways we were. And then one more little stretch to end the day where we're sitting right now. Just wanted to check it out, see if there was anything going on. Cycled through a few things, and ultimately what we came upon was the spinnerbait. Actually got on a pretty good little spinnerbait bite right in the back of the slough here. They were up shallow, they were smoking it. A lot of fun, just right along the grass line, and then some way up on the, I mean, they must have been in like a foot of water, some of them, but really just throwing that spinnerbait, slow rolling it in. I think that was like the perfect cadence for him today. They didn't want anything super fast. You couldn't burn any baits back. A lot of fun to swing back on fish on a jig, a spinnerbait, despite not being too big. Still a lot of fun, and a day I will take any day. Yeah, guys, I am going to make my way out of here and get loaded up, head home, and another successful day in the books. Fishing, I'm sure, is going to be getting a lot tougher, so got to appreciate these days as we come towards the end of the year for sure. As always, guys, I thank you guys for watching, for coming along, and I will catch you guys in the next one.